Welcome to Thrivecast. This is where we meet with leaders in the PLG and growth and monetization space. With me today, we have Robin Gauvreau. Robin, I love your last name. It sounds very similar to my first name. I keep saying it like so many times. I've practiced it, but I still mess it up. Gauvreau. Am I saying it right now?
Gauvreau, close enough once again.
Close enough. So Robin is a product manager and a founder at Together, and they are based out in France. Robin's been doing PLG for quite some time, so we had a very, very interesting previous conversation. This is essentially a recording of some of the conversations that we've had previously as well. Robin, do you want to take a quick moment to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Robin, I'm 31 years old, and I've been basically in the product industry for the last 5 to 6 years. I'm initially trained in HR, and I've been doing product in HR softwares, real estate software, marketing softwares, which is now what I'm doing. I'm still in the marketing industry with Together, which is basically a Tinder for brands, and a bit more, but we'll discuss that later, I guess.
Yeah, I love that branding Together, which is Tinder for brands. That gets stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So, Robin, your journey has been amazing. Your very recent startup, almost a year and a half. Would that be right to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the company statuses were kind of created a year ago, but the product launch per se has been done in the last 6 months.
Congratulations. I went to your website some time back, and I was very interested to see, there's a sign up button, although there was a lot more French on the website. So I had to go translate that. But could you, for our audience, could you walk the team on what the product does, and why did you decide to go build it from a self-serve standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what the product does is it enables online brands to partner between brands to get like a different acquisition channel that what they would usually do with Facebook ads or Google ads or stuff like that. So we intend on taking the practice of doing partnerships with, which is like a common practice in the industry, and actually kind of doing it our own way and more efficiently as well. So that's our take on the matter. Partnership can be like a very good acquisition channel. And the idea is to do it using like a Tinder for brands, just like you said. And yeah, brands basically match through a Tinder and then are taken onto like a partnership builder in which the software takes on the lead and hopefully bootstrap all the partnership strategy.
So, Robin, you're using the classic playbook, of product-led growth. For you,
Yep.
brands, you're acquiring brands, you're showcasing them the value right within the product, right? You are allowing them to collaborate with each other, which makes it a lot more viral from the very get-go. And it's a very interesting concept that you're building there. Could you maybe describe how does your GTM look like? Maybe if you could walk us through on, of course, you're trying to be a global company, although you might be starting off your journey from Europe. But how do you plan to go, scale your GTM over a period of time?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. We are always kind of trying to find a balance between growth and proper go-to-market strategy. So far, we've been like prioritizing France as a market because that's obviously our main language and the market we are the most familiar with. That's also the market in which we have a network, friends, family, and we are able to easily bootstrap the product within this market, as well as get a lot of feedback from users and brands. So far, our strategy has been to create kind of a community of very engaged users that give us very valuable insights on their business, on their problems on a daily basis. So at the moment, this is our strategy, and this is basically what we've been fine-tuning over the first few months of the product. Now that we have gained this maturity, we have several other strategies which are obviously expanding internationally, and trying to get the machine running, meaning what we are trying to achieve here is like a network effect. So we need to create growth within the product, and growth doesn't happen itself. So that first layer of very engaged users is today one of our growth channels, and one of the biggest growth channels for our product, because their activity, their referrals, and basically what they can say to their friends who have also brands online, is what today drives the growth in the product.
So, if I understand correctly, what you're saying is a brand. Let's take maybe example, Cartier or some other brand in France. Some brand manager, marketing manager from that particular brand signs up to your product.
Yeah.
They will notice other brands, and that's what you're calling as the network effect, right? So now you're able to go match Cartier with other brands that they can partner, they can build content together, they can collaborate together. And so you're essentially become a matchmaker for brand one, which is Cartier, with other brands. And if some brands don't exist in your network, will Cartier or any other such brand be able to invite other brands to your product?
Yeah, you're actually asking a very good question. But yeah, the way we've built our tool is basically Together Together as a company has also scraped a lot of data from the internet. So a lot of public data on online brands, on e-merchants is actually already there. So what we did is made a very comprehensive database of online brands, and then we kind of prioritized our users. Well, we prioritized this database with several layers of quality, because there were brands for which we had very comprehensive data, brands for which we didn't. And what we esteemed was qualitative, we put on the app. And as it's public data, we're not disclosing anything confidential. But basically, we use this to bootstrap our app, and to give a first base of brands our users could interact with. And then what we are trying to do with this is have a growth mechanism, because once a brand has already gotten some interactions, has been liked by several other brands, we as Together can come to and say to this brand, you're very sexy. Many other brands want to work with you. It's free, because we operate on a freemium basis. And we can put you in contact with these brands that have an average community of X million followers or stuff like that. And we emphasize the value we could provide to the brands that are not yet onboarded on Together. And that way we get the machine running, basically, because users create users, and then create users.
So how does the first user come into play? Meaning, let's say, uh, if I understand correctly, you have scraped the internet. Let's say you now have Cartier's brand within your product with all the public information, but the brand
Mm.
manager of Cartier, the marketing manager of Cartier, is not right. He's not yet a user within the system. So how
Yeah.
do you acquire that user? How do you acquire the first brand manager from Cartier, even though they are part and parcel of your your product database, right?
Yeah.
They are not yet a user, so how do you bring them to your platform?
We have several channels. Between those channels, we have like classic LinkedIn growth hacking stuff that we use. Sometimes for a big brand like Cartier, it would be even direct approach. Some of our guys that together would go there and tell, hey, Christopher from Cartier, we want to have you on together. So it would depend on the value the brand has to us and on the interest that has been manifested towards the brand as well. Um, so yeah, this could be like direct approach. This could be growth hacking stuff using LinkedIn automations.
Mm-hmm.
This could be scrape data once again, because sometimes we already have the email address of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if we have in such cases we have like a very precise growth funnel in which we would be saying what I just told earlier, what I just told earlier, sorry, which is many people are interested in working with you. This is what you could earn from it. Are
Mm-hmm.
you interested? And then we would have like two other emails that would once again dig into the value we could provide.
So the your user acquisition is mostly email marketing. Would that be right to say at this moment?
Yeah, email
LinkedIn
marketing
scraping and email marketing.
sometimes. Yeah, and sometimes direct messaging through LinkedIn, and sometimes yeah, LinkedIn automations. But yeah,
Got it.
most of what we have automated would be, well, the biggest channel would be email marketing, definitely.
Okay. So what happens after they receive that email? Let's say you have a link of your
Yeah.
product within that email. They click on it. Could you describe the experience that they will have? I mean, right now they're not yet registered in your system. You have to authenticate it. You have to know which brand they are on. So walk us through how does a self-serve, acquisition activation process work within your system?
Yeah. Well, the obvious first answer is that it has to be very quick. The time between
Mhm.
you telling the user what he could earn from being on your platform and him actually seeing the added value you could provide has to be very short. So yeah, at first we would provide in the growth email, we will provide a link to onboard basically on the platform, and then we will like have a very quick onboarding tool in which the user would verify his domain from his address, from his email address and website.
Mhm.
Then we would link the company and the user. Um, then we will provide him with his company's profile with all the data we previously gathered. And most of the time, the user has to basically check that the data is correct and sometimes input some other information. But in most cases, we would have like most of the data. And then we would only like create the link between the user and the company, and the user would see the platform. And what's very important is that on our growth funnel, we mentioned that XYZ companies have liked the company, and this is actually the first thing that the user would see as well. On the right part of his screen, he would see all of the list of all the companies that had previous interaction with the company, and that way the way we talk to our user is very much aligned with the experience he has on the platform.
Yeah, so maybe maybe Robin, we can have some of your screenshots of your product and maybe the
Yeah, absolutely.
activation
Yeah.
activation in the show notes as well, so for the users to be able to go correlate to that. So you mentioned a very interesting thing. All the all your brands are already there in your system. The user comes in, and either they themselves match to the product or the brand that they have, or does your system match them? Who does the matching? Who does the sorry? How does
That
the brand manager of Cartier know that they have to be associated with Cartier? Is that your system doing it, or they doing it by themselves?
what a system does is basically provide with the user with a personalized matchmaker feed.
Okay.
So every interaction a brand would have with another brand would be from a manual human action.
Hmm.
So we're not the ones deciding if your brand can match another one or if it's very relevant. We have like insights on how it could be interesting, and that's why we suggest stuff. But the liking in itself will always be a human action. So that's
Hmm.
why it was very critical in the early days to get like some kind of critical mass of users, because they are the ones that provide value actually. And what's very important in our growth acquisition flow is that we are not relying on anyone liking your brand. It's a real human that did it. So that's why it's quite easy to make some acquisition. It's because the
Mm-hmm.
value we've told our future user, our prospect, in the growth acquisition emails is basically created by real users, and it's very transparent, and yeah, that that's very like the value is already there. So it's kind of an easy shot. Yeah.
Makes sense. So, are you planning to have like a left swipe or a right swipe sometime later within your
Yeah.
product?
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
have?
We already do. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Super.
exactly the same matchmaker as Tinder.
That's a good way to think about it. So now that you're collecting so much of data about the users' likes, and the brand matchmaking, and so forth, how do you, first of all, how do you collect this information? Do you collect and store that into, on a UI based, some kind of, you know, product analytics store like Mixpanel or something else? What mechanisms do you have in place to collect, store, and analyze this information?
I'd say we mostly have two. We have Mixpanel to basically analyze the flows, the usage flows, to see what actions followed another actions and stuff like that. And we have like a proper BI tool, which is Looker by Google, which is in the Google Suite. And from Looker, we are able to make a lot of SQL reports,
Hmm.
um, and data visualization. Yeah. So basically, Looker would be like the perfect solution to analyze um, stock data. So the history of matches, who matched with whom. That part would be Looker, and product conversion, product KPIs would be Mixpanel.
Got it. And do you do any enrichment? Let's say this user, I'm just throwing out a specific scenario. Let's say the brand manager of Cartier, the brand that we were just recently talking about, has a Gmail address, right? You don't have his, at Cartier dot com address. So in such a scenario, if he's joining in, if he's logging in, do you automatically enrich that? Hey, this is so and so. This is the title, of the brand manager. This is from marketing department. Do you run any automation by itself, or is that the user has to go fill that information?
No, we would enrich most data, but what's interesting in your example is that we have like several security layers before signing up, because if someone was to ask the permission to get Cartier's page with a Gmail address, we would block him. And then we have like a whole mechanism of shadow banning people so that they
Mhm.
don't know that they are banned, or that they will be unblocked. So we have like a whole caching mechanism. If, for example, the real brand manager of Cartier were to log with his Gmail address and was to use the matchmaker and make a lot of actions, we would store it uh, in our server basically, but wait on the actual identity confirmation before allowing this data to go in the app.
Um, Maybe we'll go to the next section. So I'm going through this particular user journey. You've acquired them, you have activated them, you've already finding out their engagement. You have product analytics like Mixpanel, Looker, various things around it. How do you plan to monetize these users? Do you already, maybe let me ask this into two parts question. When the users are coming in for the first time, do you automatically put them into some kind of a free plan, a freemium, a free trial, a reverse trial of sorts, and then allow them to upgrade it? What are your thoughts about how do you monetize them?
It's actually a very, very recent subject for us, because basically, as long as we were growing and reaching that critical mass of users, we did not want to monetize, because we did not want to initiate any blocking points within the product. And that's also the way we basically reached the monetization subject. We don't want monetization to be a hindrance of value creation on the platform, which is very complicated to do because we do have to make money. Um, so at the moment, what we are testing in terms of monetization is obviously freemium, because we cannot like have a fully paid solution. But yeah, with a reverse trial, our goal is our goal is obviously to make the user see that the product is actually very good and that he cannot do without the monetization. But we also want to keep a large scope freemium, especially the matchmaker, which is the entry point in terms of value creation within our platform. So the matchmaker will always be free on our platform. We already know that, because if freemium users don't use the matchmaker, we won't have like any contacts between brands. So yeah, that's the way we are tackling the subject now. So freemium with a reverse trial, and we are envisioning also like an agency plan, because especially in France, there are several very specialized marketing agencies that manage a lot of online brands.
Hmm.
So that's also a persona of users we tend to have. We did not plan it in any way, but we've seen it happen. So there's definitely like a market for it as well.
Yeah, so essentially you'll have a partner pricing. Agencies would be like a partner, right? And
Yeah,
they can pay for and manage multiple brands. I think that's wonderful. Why reverse trial? You mentioned reverse trial as part of this thing, so it's pretty complicated. Why did you go choose that?
it's not that complicated to put in motion, but our goal with reverse trial is to, within the first month, is that our user goes through all the phases that he
Hmm.
can go on the platform, meaning meeting his first partner, matching his first partner, discussing with his first partner, then building a partnership with the help of AI, which is
Mm-hmm.
a big thing in our paid plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we want him to go through all of this within his first month. And
Mm-hmm.
then we want him to feel the basically the that something is missing if it doesn't have these features. Because basically the feature we've put in the paid scope are personalization features, AI generation features, and stuff that is not mandatory to use together, but stuff that definitely will make you save time.
So in that case, you would have you have paid plan features, right? So you listed out these features, and then you have a freemium plan features. And
Yeah,
as at the time of the acquisition, you give all of them to the end user, I'm guessing, right? And
absolutely.
maybe in the 30 days trial period, you're giving the experience of both of these feature sets together. And if they don't upgrade by that time, you are only taking out the paid plan premium features and just giving them a freemium,
Ab-
which is the
yeah,
base, which is the base plan.
yeah,
How did you go
absolutely.
manage that? Did you create a list of feature catalogs and create, hey, these are the pricing plans, and then associated to the pricing plan, these are the features, give them access to that? That'll take some work, right, on your side.
Funnily enough, it didn't, because the way we did product, and I mean product delivery and feature delivery, was always under feature flags. So
Okay, there you go.
as we were doing feature flagging, and we do have a tool to do some feature flagging, um, as we already have this infrastructure, uh, this was easy to basically like cut down the product into pieces, because we already did it.
So
So
is it a premium product that you use for feature flags, or is it any open source? There's so many of them out there.
yeah, we actually, when I started to work with Together, I had this discussion with my CTO very early on, and the same day I saw that someone was putting such a product in beta. So we contacted him, and we basically we were the first beta testers of his product. It's called Unrevealed, and it works very well. So
That's very smart of you, to think about feature flags as a mechanism to manage access
yeah,
to feature pricing plan.
yeah, because I've been through so many like back office refactorings or stuff like that. I know that it's a hidden cost that's never very, you never want to pay this debt. You never want to manage such a product, and in the long run, it's awful. So having like this feature flagging option and a tool to do it basically cost us close to nothing, and and yeah, to do it this early on the product roadmap is a key.
Yeah, I think that's very, very smart of it. Maybe as part of the show notes, we can add a link to the tool that you're talking about. And to
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
listeners, that's a you heard it first here. Pricing plans can be managed through feature flags, and learning it from the people who have done it. Robin and his CTO team. Thank you for that. I know we are out of time. One last question to you: how does one reach out to you?
Uh, Basically through LinkedIn. I tend to write a lot of French posts about product, but feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, maybe I start working in English. Well, writing in English as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly LinkedIn, and I'm usually replying very fast.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robin. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure. And to all the listeners, if you enjoyed today's discussion, please do consider leaving your feedback. The podcast will appear on the platform of your choice, be it YouTube, Spotify, and various other podcast catchers. Stay tuned for more insights, more guests, and more demos. Until next time, keep thriving.